All right, let's try this again. Marcus, welcome in, everybody. Thursday
night. Yeah, man, Johnny, that picture of that girl you sent me, she was hot, boy. Gee whiz.
Did you get that?
Yeah, I did.
What's up, DeMarco? Hey, DeMarco, yeah, let me, I send the link, actually. Do I need to send it again to that?
No, you did. You sent it. So
okay, I got you. Now, we were, Marcus and I was talking a little bit earlier, and I say, wasn't nobody on tonight, seemed like. So, hey, we're going to talk a little bit about, talk about anything we want. Talk a little bit about the Avata 2 update. Want to welcome everybody in. Of course, I don't know. We went live a few minutes ago. Somehow I didn't, I guess I didn't hit the Johnny Drone Flyer channel, the YouTube channel. So it was just me and Marcus. So we were just talking a little bit. But hey, first time ever live streaming. I just got home. Hey, there you go. I figured he was at practice.
Yeah, I bet Marco's going to come in with us here.
Maddie, who else is in here? Welcome in, everybody. Captain Joe. But Marcus, how was your day? I know you did some flying. We talked on the phone a little earlier.
Johnny, I had a good day today, and you know, any day that pardon me, any day that you get to fly a lot is a good day. And I was flying the DJI Ron Mini 4K.
Oh yeah.
And I did a couple of. I tried to put together some tutorials because a lot of beginners buy that drone. I did a return to home tutorial, you know, showing all the ways you can change the home point and you know, emergency return to home, battery low, return to home, all of that stuff. And then I did a tutorial on quick shots because, you know, there's a lot of new flyers that you know, they just don't know how to do that. So Absolutely. It was fun. And one of the things that I was, Johnny, as you know, flying that drone, it's got the RCN1 controller. So I got to use my iPhone to fly it, right?
You told me that little story, so let's hear it.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that happens with the iPhone is it heats up, and especially in direct sunlight. And man, the screen gets so dark you can barely see it. And I think I finally came up with a solution. There's a company that's called Cold Cell, and they make a little gel pack that sticks to the back of your phone, and it fits in the controller. A lot of those kind of solutions, you can't use them because then you can't get the phone in the controller. This one it's flat, and it just sticks to the back of the phone. And man, it worked. It kept the phone cool, kept my screen bright. I was pretty stoked.
Yeah, well, I heard you said something about that maybe a couple weeks ago on a chat on a stream.
Yeah, let me see if I think I got it right here.
Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty good because, you know, those for cell phones, we do fight it. Of course, I don't know if they, you know, I know a lot of times you can maybe sneak a little shade, but you know, it ain't quite as hot as it's gonna get, of course, you know. So
yeah, although even in the shade, even in the shade, your phone can still heat up. But this is just what it is. I don't know. Hopefully you can see this. It's just a little gel pack, and I'll pull it out of this little.
Marcus, you put that in a refrigerator, or does it?
No, you don't need to do anything. And it's got a little on the back here. There's a little piece of plastic. You peel that off, and it just sticks right to the back of the phone.
Okay.
And then just this soft kind of cottony part is the part that sticks out. But what I thought was interesting is I flew the heck out. I had it on for a long time. I went through 2 full batteries, and pulling this thing off of the phone, and it is reusable. It felt cold to the touch. It was just kind of interesting. So anyway, I wish I would have. I've had this sitting in my drawer for, I'm not joking, probably 2 years. I wish I'd have been using it all along.
Yeah, well, you know, we fight that. I know you talk about it. I mean, I don't know if the phones, through the years, they maybe gotten a little bit better, but not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot. Yeah, they heat up. I mean, there's so much processing power. They get hot.
Let's see. What's he saying? Let's see here. How cool is that? Where do you get one?
Hey, Scott, I'm going to see if I can. I got it on Amazon, but it was, like I said, I mean, it was 2 years ago. So if they're still there, I don't know. But if I can find the link, I'll definitely put it up.
Yeah, you know, because Marcus, you're doing that, I would say now with, I say secondary drones, because everything kind of DJI forward, you know, it's got the the RC type controller. But I still have the what I have the Paradanafi in my V copter that I still have to use a phone. So yeah.
Johnny, I remember
Hey,
when
welcome
you had
in, Bob Casey. Yeah, Michael Wright, welcome in.
Michael right here when you had your little iPhone Mini, I think they called it, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
little one.
I had the 13 mini.
And that thing would, I remember you complaining about it. It
Yeah.
would just get so hot that you.
Yeah, and I think that was probably because of the size, and
Right.
it was small. The battery was smaller, so it would even get hotter. This 15 here is, I say, a little bit. The only thing, most of the time I'm flying a V copter, and I would say it's maybe late in the evening, or I wouldn't say I really care if it goes dim, and I don't want to go dim because I don't want to lose my drone. Maddie, welcome in. Michael Wright, Captain Joe, Jerry Bauer, welcome in. Bob Casey. But yeah, Marcus. So you said you have not done the Avata 2 update, right?
I haven't. I will likely do it this evening. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people, at first on the surface, you see, you see an update, and of course, I know it went to the 100 frames per second, which is pretty cool. You could do that. You're going to do some slow motion stuff.
That's the best part of it, if you ask me.
Yeah, and then what they really did is made it backwards compatible to 2 goggles ago. I'll say the Integra and the goggles 2. So hey, it's not a bad thing. I know at first some people I don't say we always bitch, but hey, it's a start, and maybe well my situation is a little different because I have my home built, and that's probably not
Right.
a lot of people. I sold my Integras, but hey. Maybe when they do the next update, or maybe when they get rid of some of them goggles too and the Integras, that they'll make it compatible with that, the goggles 3, because I think it's all about them selling goggles. And that was, I think, my biggest thing was, when say NERC got it and Boardwell, I think that they're pushing those, say, O3 air units. Let's see. Maddie says the best part of is latency in the goggles, at least for me.
Yeah. Hey, Johnny, I want to point out to you that your complaint is totally legit as far as I can tell, because all of a sudden you've got these new goggles and they're better than ever, right? They got a better screen. They work better for your eyes. They don't put pressure on your nose, and you can't use them for what you want to with your home built drone. Man, DJI, they owe it to you.
Well, I think it will be available, because do we really know? We were talking about that. Is the Avata 2, is it an 04 or is it an 03 enhanced? They really don't say anything, on a box. I look up the specs again. I don't see anything,
Right.
So we really don't know, I guess. But hey, the Avata 2 is fun, man. It flies good. The camera is so much better. It's quieter. The battery is better. I mean, it's. I hate to say that, man. They almost done everything that we kind of was asking for. The price was even lower. You got better goggles. You got, yeah. So I think it's a home run.
Johnny, it's the, not that I didn't like the previous Avata, because I did.
Right.
But this Avata 2, because the goggles work so well for me, I have a desire to fly it. And I got to tell you, I had both the FPV drone and the Avata, and man, given a choice, I always wanted to fly one of my other camera drones. The Avata 2, I see it sitting there and I go, man, I need to get out and fly that thing. I have a desire.
I flew a while ago, and man, I went through a whole battery, and I tell you what, matter of fact, I was going to look up my flight time, because it seemed like it was 78 degrees instead of 90 this afternoon late. So yeah, that makes a big difference. Yeah, Maddie, I think you're right. They'll make the new goggles compatible.
I hope so.
Hey guys, if anybody wants to come in, let me know in the chat. I'll send you the link to Facebook. I just don't want to put it in here because, we had somebody, be a tree. You know what a tree is. So they were being that in one of the drones and coffee. Let's see here. If we would have waited, Avata 2 came out alone and using Integra goggles, the MC2, we would have said, well, I don't.
Yeah, maybe I get your point, Joe, but you also wouldn't have got the better goggles and stuff too. So
yeah, I mean, I personally, don't have a problem with the Integras, but I do like the way. I mean, I know some people, had facial issues with the the nose part there and stuff. And I do like the way you can tune in your prescription better on the on a goggles 3 there.
Hey, Johnny, I thought you told me you blocked Brad Alston. I just see him.
Brad Austin, yeah, Brad, man, who is I don't know this guy anymore. He hardly.
We love you, Brad. Just joking. We love you,
Brad. Hey, Brad. How you doing? Hope you're doing good. Hey, Brad. Look. I've been printing little phone cases. These are pretty neat. Oh, hey, I'll be giving some of these away on a show Wednesday night. We got Mr. Vic Moss. So Jerry, let's see what Jerry says here.
Hey, I like that. He bought a power station so he can keep flying. Good on you.
Yeah, so I bought the small power station and charge. Did you get the DJI power station, Jerry? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Because those look pretty neat. Oh, come on, I can't respond to messages.
He got banned for Messenger. TJ, what'd you do?
What did you do, TJ?
In fact, don't tell us. We may not want to know. So, yeah.
But I tell you what, Marcus, man, the drone, man, they just keep pumping stuff out. DJI is, with all what's going on with the ban and the the motion out there to ban them and against the, so, what's going to happen? We don't know about that. Of course, that we're always talking about that, but man, they still hitting out the park. The little drone that you just bought,
man,
$299, can't beat it.
I can't believe it just blew my. I was flying it today. I was thinking to myself, $299, and you get all of this technology in this little bitty package that just flies amazing, takes amazing video, has all the automated features. There's just nobody. At the end of the day, there's no other manufacturer that they don't even come close.
Welcome in 204. Let's see, Drone Life. Happy Thursday, waving all the way from Canada. Hey, another. Hey, I do want to say, I know Lauren put some out. Lauren is having some surgery, so prayers out to Lauren. One of our friends there, and we miss having him on in the chats, but I think he's going to be fine, but he does have some stuff to go through. So
yeah. He actually said it on Facebook, so I think it's kind of open now.
Yeah. Well, we still, I definitely.
But he's going to have some heart surgery, I guess. We can say that, but I think he's.
Well, you got to keep Lauren healthy because we gotta. We got to bug them for all that info now and then,
Yeah, I want to get up to Calgary there and go flying with them too. In fact, we're talking about Canadians in the chat here. I want to take the Canadian basic license. And then, of course, I would have to get a I'm trying to remember the paperwork that you have to get to be able to fly. Special Flight Operations Certificate, I think it is, SFOC. But as a U.S. citizen, I can't register a drone in Canada. That's a problem, right? Well, I think the solution is that I would have Lauren could register my drones in his name. I could get the Special Flight Operations Certificate, take the basic license in Canada, and then be able to fly up there, fly my Maddox. Now, you can fly a sub 250. You're perfectly legal, but to fly like the Air 3 or
could you fly next to him, being that he has, or
No, we talked about that. I've had that conversation with him. So you got to get your Canadian basic license, which is no big deal. It's not. It's like, I would say that the Canadian basic license falls someplace between the U.S. trust test and a Part 107. If you, you're going to want to study for it, but common sense rules the day. It'd just be good to have. I live close enough to the Canadian border that I could sure see there'd be times that I'd want to go up there. Now, the key is you've got to have that Special Flight Operation Certificate, which takes weeks to get. So it's not like you could just go up there and fly. You got to plan. But what Lauren has told me, like, say I was going up there to Calgary, I could say, listen, I'm going to be in southern Alberta for 2 weeks or whatever, and you could get kind of a blanket.
And here's hiking class. So I have my basic Canadian license, but the minute you don't need it, the SFOC. So hey,
yeah,
good to know.
Yeah.
And of course, keep up. Check your. I'm not sure. A lot of people have gotten their licenses, 107s or whatever you call it, Part 107 in the last couple of years. So check the dates on that. It'd be some recurrence coming up for a lot of people we know, and I know I did mine. I don't know, probably 10 months ago or so. So, uh, you know.
So Jerry is saying, and it's a not an easy test,
Well,
which
don't they actually have to fly for
yeah,
the person?
well, yeah, I mean, it's like everything else. There's forms you got to fill out, etc. But I believe it's Gary. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's just an online test, as I understand it. But he's right. I looked at it, and yeah, you are going to have to. You can't just take it and not study for it. You're going to have to study and know the regulations. But I don't know. I did that for the 107. I don't know why I couldn't do it for the Canadian license. So
Yeah, Morganson, we I know me and you talk sometimes about, I say, the 107. I see Dre in here. Of course, Dre does some commercial stuff and he's always flying. So, do we feel like the FAA wants more people to get the 107, or, like, are we kind of, I know a lot of people talking about, the hobby is getting attacked. And I know you and I talk all the time. And, when we go out and fly, I mean, we're flying for fun 99% of the time. I have done a few little roof inspections and some real estate stuff. But, you don't want to be looking over your shoulder all the time. So does a Parcel 07, does it help you with that? Or do you feel more comfortable with it? Or is it, you know?
Johnny, I don't know. Here's the bottom line. I don't do any commercial work. And when I
Right.
say commercial work, I have never inspected anybody's roof. I've never done anything. I fly drones for my YouTube channel. And, I guess, my YouTube channel is monetized. So I suppose they call that a business or whatever. I still think it's kind of a gray area. I've heard opinions both ways, quite frankly. However, it's just, I think it's a good thing to have. And I think, for one thing, if you ever were approached by law enforcement, and you have to understand that a lot of law enforcement, they're not experts on drones.
No.
But if you can show them your credentials and you can show them the rules and regulations, one of the things I do, and let me grab it here, is I've got a book that I keep all my credentials in,
Yeah.
and including for my drone, and I've got a permit that I use to fly with the Army Corps of Engineers. If I fly up at like Lucky Peak Reservoir, I've got a permit. I keep the just because you got to fly, if you're flying recreationally, you got to fly under a group's rules.
Yeah.
I've got those in here. And then I also keep some of the codes and so forth. So if you do run into law enforcement and there's a question about something, you can show them your credentials. You can show them that stuff. And I think it gives you some credibility.
Ronnie, welcome in. Ronnie, welcome in. God bless America. Hey, Morris, but I say so that's a permit, not a waiver. I mean, you have a permit to fly over that, right?
Yeah, it's a permit. So the individual Army Corps of Engineers areas or whatever, they're all different. So this doesn't give me a authorization to say fly in Walla Walla or something like that. If this particular Lucky Peak Reservoir, and by the way, that doesn't just apply to drones. It's any kind of aircraft. So the Army Corps of Engineer, they don't exactly control the airspace, but they control who takes off and
Right.
lands, etc. And so they require permits. And in fact, I think there are even regulations, and the FAA has regulations against even manned aircraft flying in. I don't think it's a TFR, but I know there's regulations that they have written in there about getting permission to fly anywhere that anything that the Army Corps of Engineers manages.
Yeah, and I saw Greg put up something about flying over people. They're relaxing that a little bit. I mean, you can apply for a waiver. Of course, there's 4 or 5 things you have to have. Yeah, I know you have to have a light, anti-collision light. You have to have the prop guards on a certain weight. So there's, so maybe,
That's a good thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know some people were asking them. I only watched a few minutes. Like, well, why don't they just say everybody can fly? Well,
No,
yeah,
yeah.
that's not to go from A to Z and overnight. You know what I mean? They're trying to do it the right way. So,
Well, I was talking to Ron Brown about this earlier today, and even I don't need a waiver because I don't have a desire to fly over people. I mean, I'm trying to think of a situation,
yeah,
gosh, a concert or something, but I've never had the desire to fly over groups of people at all. So,
yeah. I mean, I would still be, even. I mean, I mean, I ain't never really. Well, honestly, I've never seen a drone fall out the sky, but it doesn't happen a whole lot. So you got to trust the equipment. But over. I mean, here we have a ton of parades and stuff like that. But I don't know if that would be the right thing to do. That maybe. I don't know. I guess each individual, that would be up to the individual, applying for that waiver. And, and there's still some pretty lengthy questions you got to fill out. And of course, Greg said, you can't skip one. You got to go. So they're not going to just give it to you, you know.
no, and they shouldn't. What I'm hoping that we get. But what I'd like to see with Beyond Visual Line of Sight, Johnny, is just like we apply for Lance approval right now. In other words, based on the location, if they see that I'm out at the Snake River Canyon or something, you get on your phone, you get approval for, I don't know, a kilometer or a mile or whatever. Now that may be a very different thing if you're in an urban area close to an airport. They say, okay, yeah, you might get a BVLOS waiver, but it's 2,000 feet or something like that.
Right. Let's see. Maddie. What's up, Maddie?
What's up? Hold
How
on.
you? Huh? Oh, wait. I think Maddie's got a new tablet. He was trying to see what he forgot what he said. Told me. Let's see, Michael Wright. Yeah, Michael, I'm gonna go back. He did say that he saw it. That it says it in the specs right here. Oh 04. Hey, that's good. I mean, the transmission system. Now, I'm gonna go out on a limb and for me, where I fly, it's not much better, but it's not probably a good scenario where I fly a million Wi-Fi signals and all that. So I know Lon act like he said it wasn't much better that he thought, but same situation where he was flying. So anyway, maybe
I got a confession there too, Johnny. From OcuSync 2 on up through OcuSync 3 and OcuSync 4, I don't notice any big difference. Maybe, but I haven't seen any big difference.
Tom, welcome in. Avata is 04, Tom. There you go. I will wind up losing signal amongst the rock.
Yeah, he's talking about probably the Red Rocks.
But Tom, let me ask you this: is the original? Is the 2 way better than the original? Do you get further? Do you get a truer signal? So I mean, I know for Wi-Fi, when I go around this building right around the corner here, it's a 2-story building, and I understand that it is but when I the same exact spot that I got it with the original Avata, I get it with the Avata 2. So, but I know it's it's I'm behind the house, I'm facing kind of this way, and the drone is going another direction, and like I said, it's a million. No way better, but noticeable.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, when I have the biggest problem with signal, I've found is say I'm down by the river or something, and I'm kind of surrounded by trees.
Yeah,
that's the very worst.
Well, hey, the things have gotten better. I mean, I think in a few years or last couple of years, man, the batteries are better, the cameras are better, the drones are smoother. I mean, the Avata 2 is very, I say very responsive. It's quieter. I mean, that's a big plus, I think. I know you fly in some parks close to the house, Marcus. So, you can put the Avata 2 up, with a very few people around that may not really notice that thing. But now the Avata,
oh man, yeah,
you might as well just like ring one of them big dinner bells back in the cowboy days. I'm fixing a drone here.
Hey, T just saying that he lost signal the other day with his Air 2S. So TJ, so you must have the fly app set to just when the drone loses connection to just hover rather than return to home. I guess my question is, why didn't it return to home?
Let's see here. I have more signal also with the Avata, mostly around tree. Yeah, I think that's true. Let's see. I'm sometimes elevated, take off looking. It seems like I have issue with the dip down. Okay, that makes sense too.
So I got some experience there. Not well, actually, with the original Avata, not with the Avata 2. But like one of my, I learned this from Ted Bowman. He showed me one time when we were out at the canyon, but flying down into the Snake River Canyon. And I'm telling you, I've gone, shoot, 120 meters negative altitude into the Snake River Canyon before. And what I found is I have to be really close to the edge. And yeah, I guess, if you're blocked by any terrain or anything, in other words, if you're on the edge and it's down and you're blocked by the terrain, yeah, you start losing signal. But if you can get a straight shot at it, it works pretty good.
Marcus, what about? So we did have an update for the Air 3. I did that yesterday actually, and I know it boots up a hell of a lot faster.
I haven't done it yet. I better pull that thing out.
Tom, what's up?
There he is.
Hey, Johnny. Good to see you, brother.
Oh, how are you doing?
What's up, Marcus? You know what I'm noticing? Look, I was flying amongst some sand dunes, and I got to tell you, sand dunes are killers. I thought I'd have a lot more penetration amongst the Amagosa sand dunes, but I actually seem to have less. And I found that to be true with the Avata 1 also. Trying to get in between some sand dunes and come around the other side.
Sure.
It gets dicey. It gets dicey.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people. I mean, at first, I don't know about an open location with the Avata 2, but I definitely around here where I fly, I would say it's exactly the same. I don't, and this is probably not a good place to test that, but.
Well, I've noticed that I get better penetration around buildings than I do around nature.
See, I don't get that here, but that's just me here. So, Jerry, I did the update on RC2 and only have the P is gone.
That is funny. Yeah, P mode is no more. Yeah.
It's back to normal. The P has went away. It
A long
came
time
back
ago. Yep.
The years of that was on the old Phantoms, I believe.
Oh, the Phantoms,
yeah, on the Phantoms, yeah.
My Avata 2
mode
left when flying low. No new sensors.
Really? I haven't noticed that. Yeah,
I haven't noticed that either.
I haven't noticed that.
Yeah, could that be? Well, I was going to say a controller calibration, but he's using the motion controller. I don't know. Yeah,
but normally you'd get a calibration warning.
Right.
I've had it happen once or twice, but it was my fault because I avoided the calibration warning.
Tom, do you have the sticks also, or do you just have the Motion 3?
I got to tell you, I do have the sticks, but I don't use them, Johnny. I just love. I don't know. I just love the immersive feeling of the MC3.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I liked it when it was the Motion 2, and I did get the sticks because I wanted to learn how to fly manual with my home built.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, this is just me. I'll never be as good with the sticks as I could be with that Motion 3. I can tell you that. Right
now. I feel the same way. I think I can. I mean, I shot indoor pony polo using the motion controller. Yeah. Okay, and I with the confined, cramped space I was in, I don't think I could have accomplished what I did with the sticks. I really don't.
Yeah. No, I would agree, especially. I don't know, my eyes, maybe I just feel more comfortable with that motion.
Yeah.
Maddie, what's up, Maddie?
Maddie.
Yep. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing I got to say to you, Maddie, let's go Rangers.
I don't watch sports really anymore, so it doesn't matter.
I'm in between periods right now. That's why I was able to jump on.
I fly the Avata 2 low most of the time, no drift. Yeah, I don't really notice any drift. I mean, I would say sometimes I think the original Avata is a little better on turns and all because of the weight. It seems like it
really.
Avata, it seems to me, but that's just me. Let's see. Like the Phantom V2 still has the A mode altitude.
Yeah, attitude mode was nice.
Yeah.
But Johnny, do you see a real difference in the way it flies? I mean, I do see a difference in the way the Avata 2 flies. It's a different feeling.
I agree.
don't know. I really don't seem to notice a whole lot. I really don't, and I haven't flown the Avata 2 with the sticks. I mean, I was flying manual with the Avata, so I don't know.
I feel that it performs a bit better in wind because you don't have the higher profile. But I do sometimes, especially out in the dry lake bed, I'll find the Avata 2 flying sideways, in the wind, because once it catches, and you can correct that with just a little overcompensation, but it feels like it flies a bit different than the
seems
original.
like to me in the goggles, it's always moving a little bit, but you don't see it in the video, of course. But you never saw that with the Avata original. To me, I don't know. It seems a little shaky at times.
I don't fly with EIS on. I turn the EIS off, and then I'm in 4/3 mode, and I'm in wide, and I do all that because I use gyro flow in post. I feel I get a much better image with gyro flow, much more stable image. Yeah, and then I can do a few things in gyro flow that I can't do, with Rocksteady. I can use the same shot twice. I mean, I can use one shot with the horizon locked, and then I can come back and then use it without the horizon lock. And it's looks like two different images. And the nice thing about using 4/3 is you don't get that zooming effect because you got a lot more data to work with. Okay, you got all that headroom when you're shooting in 4/3. So when you bring it into stabilize it in gyro flow, you don't get that zoom in kind of look with it that you do with Rocksteady.
Mr. John,
you got me going. I'm going to do the update right now.
Oh, you got. Oh, good. Yeah. Hey, John Flynn, welcome in. Let's see, Michael Wright. What did he say? I just received the RC3 and trying to manual. Okay, yeah.
Good luck. Good luck with that, Mike. You should have a lot of fun with that.
Bill Thomas.
Big open field.
Yeah, well, the good thing, I mean, you can get way up high and throw it in there, and hit the button. So even with the home builds now with the GPS, it makes it a little bit easier to.
Yeah, it's such a you got that real fail safe going for you now. You can futz around real high. I remember I handed it to Bob Dempsey. We were out at Lake Dolores. We were with Sean Oz and Ken Dono. And Bob was real nervous with it. Next thing I know, Bob's getting an altitude warning. He's so high with the Avata. Okay, so we thought he was trying out for the NASA space program there.
Tom said,
and I go, what are you doing up there?
Well,
Johnny, it still says P mode. Look at that, P mode.
No, that you hadn't updated yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, but I tell you what, I literally think somebody can a brand new newbie can take that Motion 3 and they can fly in a matter.
Absolutely, Johnny. And I got to tell you a great success story. I have a neighbor who lost an arm decades ago, and I remember when I first came into the neighborhood, he saw I had a drone, and he said to me, "Oh, I bought a drone. It wound up on somebody's roof." He goes, I have trouble flying because, he doesn't have limbs. And handing him the motion controller on the original Avata, you had to see his eyes light up. Because now it became accessible.
Yeah.
Which was really great.
I'll tell you what, my daughter has never shown interest in even holding the RC or, any. But I tell you what, I got her to put the goggles on and fly with the Motion 3, the Avata. And she's like, I mean, she did it in just a matter of seconds,
Well, I got to ask you, I mean, how many F-22 pilots fly like this? No, you fly like this, baby.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So you get that immersive feel. That's, it's fun, man. It really brings the fun back into it.
Do you pinch or Tom, when you?
I pinch. I pinch because I like access to the other buttons, Johnny.
See, I could never do that. I just can't seem to. Marcus, what about you? You thumb?
Hybrid. So I'm really when I'm doing really fine control, I pinch. Not so, if I'm just flying in a straight line, I push it with my thumb.
John Olson, welcome in. Bent Rail, TJ, who else is in? John Flynn, I said welcome. Bill Thomas, welcome in. And John Olson,
I tried flying pinch and I can't do it.
you can't, what, Patty?
I have to side with Marcus because I would say when I'm getting out to a location, yeah, I'm just thumbing it. But when I'm trying to work on capturing something, that's when I'll pinch. Yeah, because I want to be able to hit those thumb wheels.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And to zoom in, zoom out, change that the attitude on the gyro. And it's hard to do that when you're thumbing.
Yeah.
For me, because it seems like I don't know, maybe I don't have the dexterity.
I think Matty, do you thumb, Matty, or you pinch?
Yeah.
You thumb, huh?
I thumb.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Hey Johnny, do you remember what firmware number you had on your 3? If you don't remember, that's all right.
That's right here. I got it.
I've been checking for updates. I'm on 01.00.1300, and it's telling me I'm up to date.
Marcus, do you use Assistant 2 at all?
I have Assistant 2. I was just trying to do it over the app.
Oh, over Wi-Fi. Yeah.
Oh, you connected to Wi-Fi, right? So it should.
Typically I do. But I'll hook it up to Assistant 2 and try it.
Yes, I've never ever used Assistant 2 ever.
I probably go over the app most of the time, but once in a while plug it in.
I always use Assistant 2 on a new drone when I'm doing my setup. Okay. And then usually from that point, I'll go Wi-Fi.
My phone.
Jerry Bauer, flew RC planes for long. Yeah. So you'd be a thumber with RC planes. There's a lot of switches to deal with too. I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
When Jerry says he flew RC planes.
Oh, congratulations, John. 54th wedding anniversary.
Oh, wow.
Wow. I think if I added up my marriages, I might come close to that, but
54 years. Wow. Congratulations.
I hear you, Tom. I can relate.
I got to 31, so I was, I was getting up there.
Sarah and I will be 20 this year.
She put up with you for 20 years?
That's something hard to believe.
I need to meet her. Jeez.
Yeah.
Again, I met her, but I got to have a long talk with her.
Yeah.
See, Sarah didn't come to Florida this year, though. She
said she's coming next year. So
she coming to Vegas?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Bauer, TJ, congratulations, John. What an accomplishment.
I mean, it's a great accomplishment.
The way the world is today, especially, let's see. It took me a few tries to get the update. Yeah, John. Who else had John?
Yeah, that's
trouble. There's a couple people had trouble.
Yeah,
that's why I was saying if it's not coming through, check Assistant 2.
Yeah,
because Assistant 2 is basically foolproof when it comes to updates.
I agree.
But he's got to do it on the RC controller, the RC2.
Yeah.
So
you plug them in one at a time, Mr. Johnny.
Yep.
Yeah.
They do it.
Yep.
Let's see. Marcus, Michael Rice says, I had trouble getting it over the air update about too many times last night. This updating a flap. I eventually deleted flap. Yeah, somebody else said that. I think John Flynn or either. I don't know if
I had to delete the Fly app and reinstall it.
I'll tell you, you just hit on something, guys. I'm going to update the Fly app on the controller. I bet I got an older version of the Fly app.
Yeah, that might be it right there.
That's what it is. Yeah,
that's probably it right there. Good point.
Yeah, you definitely. I know if you got to set to automatic updates, if it does
no, you can't count on that.
You might not have that newest version. Let's see, John Coopy. It says a number of people have had issues with updates coming. Apparently, okay, yep.
Yeah.
Wait, that's another. I thought you told me you blocked Coopy too. You let him back in?
Well, he paid the tariff. There's a new tariff. So let's
I
see.
thought his probation was up.
John Flynn says, "Man,
Yeah.
I still miss flying in P mode." There you go. Hey, me too. I gotta go figure out this new. Oh, Matt's having trouble with
Poor
this.
Matty. Yeah.
Yeah, John, the P mode. Yeah, hey, that was short lived. I don't know. I wonder what the deal was with that. Like, why all of a sudden did that show up? Something that's real old, and then
You're right. New version of
New
Fly.
version, right? Yeah. Yep.
That
Yep.
was
Yep.
it.
That was
yeah,
it.
Tom, I was gonna offer him $75 for that piece of crap in his hand.
Johnny, the first word that came to mind in my brain just then started with an F.
Frankly,
Frankly, yeah.
Yeah. That's
same
it.
here.
That's it.
Yeah, see, Captain Joe says, same here. Had to delete and reload. Yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
weird. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, of course. Thanks for the congratulations. Yeah, John, absolutely congratulations. So, Tom, y'all, you been flying? You was back in New York, or was that a while back, huh?
No. I'm going back to New York towards the end of June. My granddaughter's graduating high school.
Oh, okay.
So she's the youngest, and she's graduating high school. So making it back there for that. Then I'm going into the job for a whole day to make fun of people.
How about say,
You know?
they're gonna probably you going there?
They got no choice but to let me in.
I know the firefighters
Okay.
eat pretty good. So is somebody cooking for you?
No, well, I'm going, Johnny. I'm going to headquarters.
Oh, you
So
going there? Yeah, they
yeah, I'm going to headquarters.
Yeah.
But there's a nice drinking establishment right across the street. We'll be hitting afterwards.
That was some of the best days of my life. We had a weird shift time. We went in at 3 to 3, which was 3 in the afternoon. Which, man, so you got there just in time. Somebody cooked supper, and of course we cooked breakfast, and of course, man, lunch the next day. Our shift time was at 3. People started coming in about 1:30, which was kind of
Well, my neighbors love me because I got the big Blackstone in the back, so
yeah.
my hibachi chef days come out, and I can cook for an army.
Oh yeah,
without missing a beat.
We do that here a lot. So hey,
yeah.
That's
But yeah, I'm going to go back and a lot of course everything changes. It's been now. Damn, it's going to be 3 years this September 30th is 3 years out of the job. So
I know Morgan's been retired. I mean, I still got my little scary. But let me ask you: does it make you wonder how you had time for work now that you're retired?
I just had to put something down on the calendar in the kitchen.
Yeah,
because the wife says you didn't check the calendar. You didn't check the. I mean, I don't know when we had time to work. I really don't.
I'll tell
it's
you
amazing,
what,
man.
I mean, my little part-time job is easy. I ride the golf cart down here and do, check and do some stuff at the cemetery and stuff. But man, the normal, when I went to work for all them years at 5 in the morning and 4 at Winn-Dixie and then doing real estate the last 27 years, it's like, man, I don't know how I did it. I really don't know how I did it.
I told the wife I might want to go back to work part-time just so I can figure out what day of the week it is.
Yeah, okay. I'll tell you what, I don't know. I don't. I mean, unless I ain't saying I would never, but my little part-time job is perfect. But yeah, you stay so busy. I mean, the day is like sometimes my friend used to come have coffee with me. I mean, he's a retired police officer before I retired, and he would do that. He'd sit down and say, "What day is it?" I said, you sucker, now I know what he means.
Yeah. Well, I had an offer to go work as a bud tender at the local dispensary. I said, that's not enough stress for me. I don't understand because, people come in happy, they leave happy. And if there's a complaint they've forgotten by the time they come back, I go, what kind of job is that? Yeah. Okay. Where's the fun in that?
Michael Wright, yeah, he says now weekend or holidays. Yeah, it's true.
That's a good point. What cracks me up the most is those holidays that used to be such a big deal to you, right? Because you got extra days off. No, it's another day.
Well, I plan because of the RV. We plan for midweek trips. We plan for when the kids are back in school. That's what we look for now. We're checking those kinds of schedules now. If there's a holiday coming up, we'll be home. We'll be home. Nice and tough.
We do. I tell you what, I will say, I'm sure Tom, you've done it. Marcus, you've done different hobbies. I mean, of course, I don't say motorcycle, and it's kind of a hobby, but anyway, it's like, man, the drones are really just it's incredible. You know, the community is incredible. Of course, I know we're under a little attack a little bit, but yeah, look, hey, this is what Koopy says. Such old farce with drones in here.
Dude, we're taking over the world, okay? Us old farts are taking over the world.
Boomer,
Koopy, aren't you just about there? Aren't you
Koopy?
just about there, Koopy?
No, he's got too much hair to be retired. He can't be retired. No,
Age catches up quick with you, okay?
Hey, John, listen, I vote you an honorary boomer. But I think, you qualify. You're an honorary boomer, John.
Yeah, he is. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
But no, it is a great hobby, and I hope that we can get some. I'm hoping after maybe this election and stuff, maybe some stuff will settle down. But
the problem is we don't have paid lobbyists. That's our problem.
Yeah.
Okay. That's really what it comes down to. And the crux of all of this is stop all the bullshit. Put a security standard out there that has to be met by all.
Right.
And stop the xenophobia. We decided to globalize several decades ago. And as Americans, we don't want to pay full price for freaking anything. Okay. And now we're going to pull back. I mean, come on. It's ridiculous.
And also, one of the basic tenets of our country has been for my whole life is that feeling of fair play.
Yes.
We're open.
Absolutely.
Anybody can come to this country and become a citizen. You can sell your wares in this country. Other countries have been just protectionist forever. And I'm not saying you have to be protectionist on certain things. If you're protecting a specific industry to help, a good example is Johnny's a Harley guy, right? So in the 80s, Harley Davidson went to the federal government and said, listen, we're on our heels and we're not going to survive unless we get a little bit of a break here for a while so we can get caught up and get moving. So the government put a huge tariff on any foreign motorcycles over 700 cc's. Soon as Harley got where they were competitive again, they then petitioned the government. They said, okay, take it off.
Lift it. Right. Yeah. Because to keep innovation, here's one thing I have to say. I got to jump up on the soapbox for a second. I find the title of this bill obscene.
Yeah.
Okay. The Drone Act for First Responders. Don't blame us first responders for this bullshit. Yeah. Okay. And first off, look, invest. Here's where the country makes a mistake. They're not investing in STEM education. And if you want to give these U.S. companies a leg up, give them grant money for research and development.
Yeah.
Okay? And stop with this nonsense of stacking the deck because you're hurting us. And then this Drone Act is going to hurt the mom and pops out there that are running businesses leveraging this technology. And now we're in the billions of dollars, this industry. So what you're going to do to this economy, it's so damn short-sighted, it's ridiculous. I used to have to back end my funding because I could not get funding for my DJI drones on the job through federal or state grants. So I had to back end that out of my expense dollars. And luckily I was a big enough bureau that, in a super-sized agency that I could get away with it.
But Tom, they saying some of the tariff is going to go right back to the first.
Yeah. Where's the 25% going now, Johnny? Okay, it's just like, hey, Johnny. The lottery money goes to education, right?
Oh yeah. Supposedly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we have some of the worst education in the world.
Yeah. No. Same thing here in Louisiana. Oh, that's how they got it. Everybody that voted it in, of course. Well, yeah, you would vote if it's going to go to teachers and education or whatever.
But it doesn't. The money doesn't get where it needs to go.
Yeah.
These lobbyists come in and they sell these legislators a bill of goods.
Yeah.
Okay. And they bankroll them. And so these legislators aren't looking out for us. And what it's going to do to the recreational industry, it's going to decimate it. It won't be a hobby that any of us can afford anymore.
Well, and listen, I don't think anybody here that's in the chat are looking. I mean, I wouldn't definitely. I mean, give us a choice. If we had a choice of this drone is about the same as this drone, but there's no choice, of course, for first.
No, Johnny, there's no choice. It's like saying, hey, we're going to take away your Hearst tool, okay?
Absolutely.
But we'll let you use a Halligan tool for
Yeah.
extrication.
Yeah.
Well, because that's really what it is. And I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry to use some of these terms, people, but the drones have become an essential firefighting tool.
Absolutely.
They've become an essential EMS mass casualty tool. They've become an essential police tool. And you're basically saying, hey, I'm going to take away all the features and give you a paper bag instead.
Yeah.
So, look, my only hope is if these bills come to fruition and we got about a 6-year lead into when you can't buy anything anymore from the Asian continent, that by that point, DJI has licensed out all their technology. Okay? Because that's the only way we'll survive. And so, and then I look at if you're in business for yourself and you do roof inspections and you need a thermal imaging drone, what are your choices today? If you're in agriculture, what are your choices today? It's a DJI drone. Okay? Their heavy lift drones are the best out there.
Yeah.
So, it's very short-sighted. And here's the difference. You got a company who reinvest in itself. And, to much of our complaints, because they come out with a damn drone before we paid off the previous drone. Okay.
You
but,
think?
And in fact, I had a talk with some of their marketing people recently at the NAB conference out here. And they complain about it too. They like tell the engineers, hey guys, can you like slow things down? Because, it's tough to market this stuff. You just came out with, the 3, and we probably got a 4 on the horizon.
Yeah.
And, it's like, oh my goodness, what do I invest my money in anymore? But, the thing on the enterprise side is it's the best drone you can buy for the money. You can actually buy 2 drones for the price of what the Blue UAS sector has today. So, as a small business operator, you got to be against this legislation. And people, you got to step up and go to the Drone Advocacy Alliance and send your local legislator. It couldn't be easier. It's a form you fill out. Okay? It couldn't be easier. You got to get out there and you got to let your voice be heard, because that's another problem we have, right? We don't speak up enough.
No.
But it is hard to compete with paid lobbyists,
Yeah, well, and I think we, at first, it's easy to say, that's never going to happen. But, it just seems like the last couple of years, we kind of brushed it aside thinking that now, hey, it could easily happen,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, the tariffs,
Yeah.
you're going to pay more. You're going to pay more. I think, Marcus, you figured out what would a drone.
I got my notes right here.
I
So
would
the Mavic 3 Pro that you're paying $2,200 for right now, in 4 years would be $3,400.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's at today's price. So,
and then the year after that, you lose it all together. You just can't buy one. And
right.
Even if you're a home builder, you can't buy the components.
You can't get the components.
Right. So it's like you said, it's xenophobic. It's weird. I don't.
Well, the other thing is the security, the data leakage is bullshit. It's purely, and I know this firsthand because when I was on the job, I worked with Department of Homeland Security, New Steel, which is the National Science Lab, and NIST. Helping to put together the first responder training course with NIST. And they both did studies on the data leakage and could not validate it. It did not really exist. What happened was, you had young soldiers on the front lines and they wanted more situational awareness. So what happened was they went out and bought themselves Phantom 4s. Okay? Oh, wow. And they brought them into the combat zone. And then you had, some of the CIA turn around and go, oh, shit, we can't let them do this. They're going to give up key information, troop movements, all that. So all of a sudden, the Department of Army, a lobbyist in the Department of, a corporate guy in the Department of Army said, wrote this report. And just based on that, man, we could not then get any grant funding for DJI drones. And Koopy, I'm not going to even talk about how subsidized DJI is by PRC. I get all that, and I get all that stuff, but we decided to let chip manufacturing out of this country. Yeah, we got to bring it back. We definitely have to bring it back, but at what expense?
Right.
At what expense?
Well, I don't know. The other thing is you can kind of draw that analogy the other way too. So Boeing is a huge defense contractor in this country, right? Huge.
Yeah.
Yet China still buys Boeing aircraft. It's kind of weird.
I know. And look, if they were really serious about this, they take away your cell phones. Who's going to stand for that?
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
That's a larger user base than we're talking about with our drones.
Yeah.
And that's part of the problem right there. We don't have the same user base.
We're small. I mean, we think we're a big group, but we're really not.
We're not. Yeah. We're an easy target. And who was the manufacturer? Huawei. I'm not pronouncing it right.
Huawei.
Yeah. Okay. So people the other day were mixing up that with this, and that wasn't what happened. With that is being on the cybersecurity side of the fence. They made a lot of routing equipment.
Yeah.
And they had significant security flaws. So it was right to stem that tide with them. This is a different issue. And plus, in the first responder community, you're using things like drone deploy and drone responder. Okay? So you're not using their software. You're layering that software, and you're keeping your data local. So that's not a problem. But yeah, this country needs to designate significant sites of security, and they need to set security standards that are met by everyone. Okay, when it comes to data portability.
But Tom,
and that's the real issue.
If a department buys one of the, say, a DJI drone with some, I guess, state funds and some private funds, so can they fly that or can they not?
So Johnny, in most states, state grant funding follows federal grant funding guidelines. So the first answer is no. So what I used to do was I had a huge expense budget in my bureau. Okay. So I used to use money out of my expense budget that nobody would know was missing for DJI drones. Okay. And then where I had my gaps, I would submit for grant funding.
Gotcha.
But it wasn't related. It could be like on the back end. If I needed a truck with monitors and routers and a mesh network, I could get that off my grant funding. But the drones that were feeding data into it, I had to take that out of my expense funding.
I live really close to Ferrer Firefighting, where they build the fire trucks here.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're about I don't know, 10 or 12 miles up the road here. Yeah.
Yeah. We had a large increase in Ferrer. See, after 9/11, we were buying everything from Seagrave.
Yeah.
In Wisconsin. And after 9/11, we needed apparatus desperately. So we wound up buying from all over. And, there were pluses and minuses. We got to see other stuff. Okay. You tend to get into a rut. But part of the problem also is you have your own fleet services, that you need to keep these vehicles in service. And if they're of this type, it's easier.
I remember when that guy, I guess it might have been the guy, one of the guys, they were brothers, I think, and they used to come around and selling, I think, everything from spanner wrenches to drying racks and, kind of out the back of their truck. And then, man, now they building fire trucks,
Yeah. How these businesses evolve. Exactly.
So, Marcus, you get that update?
You know what? Assistant 2 said it didn't recognize the device. So I uninstalled Assistant 2, and I'm reinstalling it right now.
And China is getting some information from you tonight, buddy.
They sure as heck are. I'm hitting a lot of agree buttons here.
You alone gonna get us banned.
So
That's right.
my wife just brought me some freshly baked cookies. So
See
Oh,
that?
there you go.
yeah,
No,
Now you can focus.
yeah,
uh,
that's it.
Yeah, you're right, Bob. We all have to stand up. Look, one of the things I put, I took the form and I customized it a little. and I talked about the fact that, I used to do this on the public safety side of the fence, and I do have a Part 107, but I fly these things for mental health purposes now.
Yeah.
My own.
Very
This is
good
my
point.
outlet.
Yeah.
This is my outlet. This is what keeps me going.
So by the way, I just reloading DJI Assistant. There's a page here that I'm having to give them data authorization for my device and account
Yeah.
information,
Yeah.
and I'm clicking on both of them because I want to keep my drone up to date.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bob Casey. I know he said, the weather, guys. I mean, I'm not saying we ever took weather lightly, but man, this spring and this early summer, there've been some tremendous. I mean,
My heart goes out.
yeah, and they got
Man.
another rough storm right now. I see Reed Timmer, that guy, that tornado guy. He's on right now, and somewhere I think he's up toward Texas, up there between
Yeah.
Texas and Louisiana and Arkansas, right in there. So, man,
Jeez.
pay attention, and of course, just Saturday is the first, and you know what that means here, the Big H season.
Yep.
So
You start going through names. Yeah.
pay attention to the weather, and I don't know if it's just Marcus and I talked about this one day. If it's more people there's more people that live on the coast now, the coastal towns, and just there's so many. I know everywhere. Tom, even up there, subdivisions all over. Same way here.
Sure.
Marcus,
Sure.
you've seen your town go from whatever to overnight, and same way here. It's but you got to be careful out there.
Yeah, they said this area that I'm living in had gone from the city of Henderson had gone from 200,000 to 700,000 in like a 10-year span.
Oh, Las Vegas, man! I'm telling you, that's an area that has grown. It's just almost.
Oh
hard
yeah,
to believe, man. Because most of my family lives down there, and I started going to Vegas pretty regularly from the late '80s on, and it's just not even the same.
no, it's a totally different world now. Totally different world. Yeah.
Yeah, be safe. John Coopy, I know you're in. Yeah, it is. It's
Okay. The reloaded Assistant 2 recognizes my Air 3 now, so
good deal.
Good.
and it says I'm current, Johnny. That's why it wasn't updating. It says I'm current
On the RC2.
on the RC2 and on the device, and that update, the last update, according to this, is April 19th.
No, that ain't right.
Something doesn't seem right there.
Just telling you what.
Where'd you get that drone from? Is that like an Amazon drone? Or?
Yeah, we got it right from the mothership.
No, but yeah, and it's weird because a lot of people, I know, like I said, I know John Flynn was messaging me, and man, a lot of people had trouble with the update.
So you just had an Air 3 update.
Yeah.
Johnny, next time you get a chance. Approach the edge of altitude zone. Let me know what your version number is. When you get a chance.
Definitely. So Tom, you've been doing some flying out there? Or I haven't seen it. I mean, I guess.
Yeah, it's getting to some of the stuff too. And
y'all starting to heat up a little bit.
Bob Dempsey is a damn taskmaster. That's all I got to tell you. Okay, he's yeah. We're working on this. The meetup and all, and they were out getting the bank account today and getting the association set up and all of that. So, but yeah, we went out with the RV last week and went up to Tonopah, Nevada, little silver mining town,
right,
and did some flying around there. I did the International Car Museum of the Church of the Last Church, I think it's called. So it's a bunch of vehicles stuck in the ground in this real freaky town. I told the wife we should RV there. She told me it's too creepy there. But
There's a lot of
yeah.
creepy places in Nevada.
Oh, there's a ton of them, man. You can come across some real off the wall ghost towns. But wow, what a place to explore! It really is. It's some of these roads. I love driving, and I tell you, we moved to a state where I can do all the driving I want
And you
out
can do
here.
it quickly.
Oh yeah.
Marcus, I'm looking at, let's see, firmware update. Where do you? I don't see the version.
You go to the about.
That's where I'm at. Let's see.
Yeah, you're blind as a bat, Johnny. That's all I can tell you. Yeah, it's right there on the about page. It should say your firmware version.
About.
What are we gonna do with him, Tom? I don't know.
It just says it doesn't give me the number. It just says check.
Well, because you don't have your drone turned on. You just turned on the fly app. You gotta have the drone on too.
Yeah, we'll recognize it. Yeah, otherwise.
I had to go.
Don't mess with it right now, Johnny.
Okay, I had to go in hike and fly stand. I had to go in a profile and get the update to show. Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna look and right now on the DJI download page, and I'm gonna look at the Air 3, and I'm gonna look at see what it says.
It said, yeah, John. Of course, I know John. Bob Casey, come on, Johnny, yeah. Hey. But
Florida's leading the Rangers 2-1 right now with a little under 3 minutes left in the third period. So
how long?
I really want to see the Rangers meet up with the Dallas Stars. So maybe I can lay a little side wager there with Michael Wright.
You better go. You can go in a Mirage there for just a few more times, Tom, and make a bet.
Oh, you can get carried away out here, man. There's so many different prop bets that you can make too.
Oh yeah, I know. I love to read those prop bets.
Oh, they're hilarious. Some of them.
Yeah.
Hey, I am
hilarious.
According to DJI's webpage, 01.00.1300. That's what I'm on. It was released.
13 dots. Yeah.
Yeah. It was released in April, Johnny. So I don't know what kind of update you were doing, but
hey,
you must have one of those. What's the green drone?
I got the Anzu.
Anzu, yeah.
It's really a Spectre Air.
Spectre. You probably have the Spectre version. Yeah.
That's it. Then you're stuck with one battery, huh?
One battery. Yep.
One battery.
You fly and then you just put.
You got to charge that sucker hot.
Yeah, you fly for 30 minutes and then put it up for 3 hours. Yeah. Hey, that drone. People are. I don't know about that whole. I don't know if I understand that, but we'll see. Because were they trying to get around a ban and now?
Well, it's the first licensing deal. It's the first licensing deal, right? And that's I'm very happy to see that, because if DJI can license out some of their technology, that also gives DJI some time. Damn it. Florida just scored on an empty net. So I guess we'll have to hope for going to 7. But licensing is a smart way to go for them, I think. I really do.
But it's not going to have Chinese components in it, right? So
yeah, right now, Marcus, right? But over time, if they can license out some of that technology can be built elsewhere. And if some of that technology can wind up with the Japanese, then who's going to stop us from importing from Japan? I mean, they're our number one ally in the Asian arena. So,
well, okay, on that line of thinking, why aren't consumer electronics companies jumping on consumer drones? It must just be too small of a market. Sony, you'd think. Sony came out with their
AirPeak.
Yeah, AirPeak.
That was a miss. That was a huge miss.
I think so too.
Had high hopes for them.
Samsung.
Come on, every damn sensor out there. Okay. they basically had cornered the market on sensors, and what they just did not invest the money where it needed to go.
I don't know. Maybe we don't. It seems like the consumer end. I guess I don't say we don't understand it, but the enterprise end must be huge because everybody is kind of going for that. So.
Well, yeah, but where do we make that cutoff with the enterprise, right? Because the majority of the small business providers are using a Mavic 3.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, or an Air 3 even. So to turn around and say, look, it's only the $6,000 drones and higher. It really isn't. There's nothing but a huge market. The more features you can provide at that lower prosumer level. I mean, just look at what Sony did with moving into the prosumer camera market. They became enormous in the camera industry when it was just the big two basically, and then you had Fuji, you had Nikon and Canon, and then you had Fuji, and then you had the third party manufacturers. You had Fuji and Olympus, but still Fuji was a Nikon mount. So when Sony broke into the market, it was like, people turning their nose up at them and going, hey, meanwhile, your Nikon camera had a Sony sensor in it. So, that's what didn't make sense to me, is why they didn't just move forward in the drone sector.
So two other comments, because we had, I think, two American companies purely American companies that could have been big in drones. And the first one is GoPro. And obviously they had their disaster with that, whatever that name of that drone was. And actually, even it wasn't really a disaster.
Is that Karma?
Yeah, Karma. The first one's
the bad Karma. Yeah.
The battery that fell out of them, but they corrected that pretty quickly, but it ruined their reputation.
Yeah.
But had they stuck with it, man. And then I don't understand, why did Skydio just exit consumer products? I have a theory. I've got my Skydio 2 drone back here. You cannot fly that drone line of sight. It wasn't designed to fly line of sight. It does not fly line of sight. And I wonder if that's why they exited consumer market.
Corporate liability.
Right.
Corporate liability. You always have more liability to the consumer than you do to the industry. Okay, because the industry assumes some liability on your behalf.
Right.
Not on the consumer side of the fence.
Yeah.
Okay, you basically got to eat it all. And, us consumers can screw up a good day faster than anyone.
What I will say about Skydio is they still support that drone. I still get firmware updates for it. And it's way better than when I first bought it. It is heads and tails better drone than it was then.
Hey, but they're out of it, so
yeah,
we'll see.
The Rangers just scored a goal. There's 42.3 seconds left in the third period.
All right, guys.
It's leading 3-2.
We'll go ahead and end this. We've been on about it. I know it's getting late on the East Coast. Tom, thanks for hopping in. Of course, Marcus, thanks for
having me.
Yeah, I want to eat my cookies.
Yeah, we were, I say, bored, and nobody else was on tonight. So, hey, we just had a little fun drone chat. And I guess, Marcus, we'll see you. Marcus, who y'all got on the Drone Seekers Sunday? Do you know?
Drone Seekers, I should know.
That's okay.
Yeah.
No. Tune in to Drone Seekers 3 p.m. Eastern time,
3
right?
3 p.m. Eastern and Drone
12
Nation.
noon Pacific. Yep.
Drone Nation Monday night. Fly for Fun show.
Monday night. Who you guessed on Drone Nation?
Drone Nation, we're going to have a guy named Tom and a guy named Bob.
I think I know one of them.
Yeah.
Well, are you familiar with the radio show, the Bob and Tom Show?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. That's who we're having.
All right, guys. Everybody have a great night. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on a Fly for Fun show Wednesday with Mr. Big Moss. So, and
excellent.
See you Monday night. All right.
Good night.